Righty, greetings everybody. Robin here from Courage is Secure. Welcome to episode 72 of Rise. So we're going to be having a look at doom scrolling our own minds. Imagine that. Deja-vu.
Strength of a woman world on her shoulders. Fight through the noise when the world gets colder. 832, got the grit, got the fire. Watch her rise, watch her come higher.
All right, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be. Welcome to episode 72 of Rise. Doom scrolling our minds. Doom scrolling our minds. That's what we're going to be having a look at today. Hello to everybody. It's been a while since I have been online. Hello, Dave Waffle House. How are you? Nice to see you here. Candy Cane. Hello, Candy Cane. I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome. Hello to everybody on X, Facebook, Rumble, and PooTube. Particularly on PooTube, like to remind myself because of community guidelines and standards, not censorship. Let's remember that, everybody. Community guidelines, standards. Amazing, isn't it? Yes, so it has been a while since I have done a Rise episode. Recently subbed. Thank you, Candy Cane, on YouTube. I appreciate it. I've had the old dreaded lurgy. So it's actually a good thing, gives me an excuse to actually have some time off. But we're back today. I'm actually listening to my phone in the background, talking about doom scrolling our minds. Have I been painting, last Pinster? Hello, nice to see you here. No, it's funny you say that though. I've been thinking a lot about that, actually. It's funny. What a thing to ask. No, I haven't, but I would like to. Yeah, I'm listening to in the background. I've got it playing. It's when I was ill, still a little bit ill, but anyway. There's a painting behind me. Yes, I painted that with my small human when we lived in Germany. So probably, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 years ago, something like that. So my small human painted the bottom of the canvas, and I painted oh, the top of it. Background, if you like. Doom scrolling. Candy Cane says, boy, have I been doom scrolling lately. Mentally, it's bogging me down a lot. Yes. So the fellow that I'm listening to in the background at the moment, when I was unwell in bed, I was doom scrolling on YouTube late at night when I should have been sleeping. But you know, if anybody spends any time on YouTube Shorts, eventually YouTube will bring up people that are streaming live, and you get all sorts of weirdos. I mean, people might take a look at my content and think, look at this weirdo. But when you doom scroll on YouTube for long enough and they start throwing up the live people on YouTube in the it's scary. But anyway, so I was doom scrolling the people on the live, just amazed at what I was watching. Not in a good way either. Oh, that's very kind, Alexander. Um, and you don't even spend 2 seconds because what you're confronted with is frightening. Anyway, so I don't know how many lives I'd scrolled through, and all of a sudden, because a lot of the content that comes up when I do that on YouTube is Japanese YouTubers, because that's where I uh, keep in contact with Japan. Anyway, lo and behold, after I've doom scrolled through all of I don't know how many retards, all the rest of it, there's a familiar face and a familiar voice, and I couldn't believe it. It it was a good friend of mine from Japan that I first met 25 years ago. Was it? No. When was it? 16. No, it must be about 17 years ago. Anyway, a long time ago. And he's a YouTuber and does his own show. And so that's who I'm listening to at the moment, just because it's fantastic to see an old friend. But it's scary watching live content, particularly on YouTube. I don't know when they started doing that. Um, you've got these people just doing the weirdest things. Um, it's very, very strange and disturbing. Last Pinster says, I've seen some weird shit. Yeah, I don't recommend it. Uh, I'll tell you that story so you don't have to go and do it. It's hello, Daryl. Just hang your feet outside your chat window. What does that mean? What does that mean? Hang your feet outside your chat window. I don't know what that means. Anyway, I'm sure it'll come to me. Yes. So doom scrolling, people. Doom scrolling. So I started thinking about doom scrolling, and then I don't know. You might you it's really not worth the time, people. You might, for every 200 retards you scroll past, you might find one person that's actually a reasonable, rational person. But anyway, it's very odd, very, very odd. Hello, JG. Would you rather watch a tree grow or a knee grow? Oh, that's very clever. Oh dear, somebody's brain fell out. Sure. See, because we're on YouTube and I've got the the setting where people are going to be able to doom scroll and I'll pop up, we'll get this happening. So it should be interesting. And because I don't control it from my phone, I can't turn on the subscribers mode, which I wouldn't do anyway. I couldn't give two poos what people say, to be honest. Not Sheppy. Hello, not Sheppy. Did you? It's funny. Hello, Lauren. How are you? Here we go. We'll get all the weirdos on. That's okay. So, we have some wonderful news. Michael Gray Griffith is officially in Western Australia with Florence and Kelly, which is great. Looking forward to catching up with them, which is fabulous. So I don't know. Should we? We can't have any good. Hello, Rachel. We can't have any good episode of Rise without screening the share. I'm not sure, Lauren. I endeavoured the other day to get through my email box and boxes, I should say, and I didn't get all the way through it. So maybe you can send it to me again if that's all right. Hello, Jane. Yes, we're all weirdos. I'm feeling better. I am feeling better. Hello, Daryl. No, I'm down under. Good old US of A. No, I'm in Australia. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so let's screen the share. I think we're just going to spend some quiet time so I can exemplify my point. Having a real hard time with X recently. Don't know why. It's just
from Syria, from refugee camps. It's been on an official to officials level, and it has to do with what happens if or when they return to New South Wales. I think the number is about a third.
That's, us brides.
Miscarriages increased by 300% over the 5-year average, almost. We saw almost 300% increase in cancer over the 5-year average. Cancer is not being talked about except for by Dr. Ryan Cole. Thank you, doctor. We saw, this one's amazing, neurological. So neurological issues which would affect our pilots. Over 1,000% increase. 1,000.
10 times. That's 10 times rate, and obviously that
83,000.
Well, it's just a disgrace that the taxpayer has to constantly fund Victoria Police taking me to the courts for just more nonsense, offensive behaviour charges.
Is it nonsense though? Because the taxpayer wasn't happy with what they saw at that rally.
Well, you don't speak for the taxpayer. You're part of a corporate entity that is anti-Australia. So you don't actually speak for the Australian people. You're a nefarious agent of the mainstream media. So I think you'll find the average Australian does not want thousands or millions of illegal Indian immigrants staying in the country. And that's what we were protesting against.
You would say just weeks ago to Senator Faruqi, piss off back to Pakistan, you're not just vindictive, mean, nasty, you bring disgrace to the human race.
Oh!
No dignity whatsoever as a senator in this prestigious place where we're supposed to bring unity where we're supposed to have that freedom of expression, yes, but within boundaries and confinements of respect.
She doesn't like how things are here in Australia, then she can really pack her bags and go to the US and continue being best buds with Trump.
Chris
that New
Minns
South Wales government
again.
agency.
We get, not only do we have to hear it once, we've got to hear these dipshits constantly. I mean, this is why I have a hard time with X at the
For 2
moment.
years, myself and the other Republicans on this subcommittee connected the dots. We exposed the evidence supporting our strong belief that COVID was developed and leaked from the Wuhan lab. And during those same 2 years, the same Democrats that sit on this committee, they only hindered, they obstructed, they refused to hold hearings and get to the truth. Now we see mounting evidence supporting the COVID-19 originated from the lab in Wuhan, China, run by the Communist Chinese Party.
Look at this drop
For
kick.
Angus Taylor and David Littleproud. Will they put One Nation Last on their how to vote cards? That's the question that they have to come up with.
Love, Celine. Good on you, love.
In a Western country would be able to assemble and hold events without the presence of men.
Again,
the reality
Chris.
is that New South Wales.
Well, this is what's happening
Government agencies have been working with the Commonwealth since the end of last year about possible arrivals from Syria, from refugee camps. It's been on an official to officials level, and it has to do with what happens.
Shut up. Wait a minute. There he is again. Thomas.
Well, it's just a disgrace that the taxpayer has to.
Disgrace. I mean, this isn't even the same.
I was saying, not one of the 72 vaccines mandated for children has ever been safety tested in pre-licensing placebo-controlled trials. Not one. Tony Fauci was saying he's lying. In 2016, President Trump appointed me to run a vaccine safety commission. And he ordered Fauci and Collins to meet with me with White House counsel, present. And I said to Fauci at that meeting, you say...
What's this? Fuck's sake. See? You see?
The reality is that New South Wales government agencies have been working with the Commonwealth since the end of last year about possible arrivals from Syria, from refugee camps. It's been on an official to officials level, and it has to do with what happens if or when they...
Ah, people. I mean, that's just X, right? And then even when you're you never log into YouTube. Yeah. Even when you don't doom scroll the internet, whatever platform it might be, it's like your mind has your own For You page, behind your eyes. It's We have our own infinite feed looping in our heads. So I wrote something about that because, hello, Adrian. When I was doom scrolling the internet, YouTube, I as I said, started off with my story about finding the long lost friend from Japan streaming live. I came across this other person who got me thinking about, you know, us doom scrolling our own minds. Because whether we like it or not, we want to be distracted from our own lives, and so the addictive nature of the phone, it gives us a great excuse to get away from our own inbuilt doom scrolling that's within our mind. And because we can't quiet that, I'd suggest we continue the doom scrolling just in another form, which is obviously being weaponized against us and all these sorts of things. But ultimately, I think that's probably why it's so easy to become addictive, is because we naturally have that in our brains, so we doom scroll our own thought. And a lot of people don't like it, and they don't know how to deal with it, don't know how to switch it off, you know, and just be silent and not doom scroll your own thoughts, you know? So, yeah, I did write something about that. I think, I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do with it, um, because Substack, I don't use Substack anymore, because they wanted my information, which I refused to give to them. And even though they let me back on my page without providing those details, I'm not going to. I won't be. Well, I don't. I don't use it anymore. So I've been posting my articles to my Buy Me a Coffee page. Obviously, it's not behind a paywall or anything. It's free for people to read. I don't think people do read them though over there. So yeah, I'm kind of wondering what to do with this piece that I wrote about doom scrolling our own minds. Not really sure. Because that, just like online, how they've got all the different categories, depending on what you click on and all this sort of stuff, it'll bring up health related stuff if that's what you keep watching, or swimming stuff if that's what you're watching, or whatever it might be. Burning tire fires. You know, a lot of people, just by the very nature of being human, it's like driving past a car accident, you know. People slow down and stare and, um, so even in your own mind, all of these things, things that make you afraid, you start contemplating all of those things. What if this happens, and what if that happens, or hypotheticals. It's like our mind has its own premium content. We subscribe to our own categories, you know. And it's just like like I said, with an algorithm online, if you keep clicking on cat videos or keep showing you cat videos, well, your brain's the same thing. If you keep thinking about, an old argument you had with somebody, your mind kind of says to itself, "Oh, I'll show you 20 more angles of that," you know? Ah, Jane, I found online bingo stops the brain for a little bit, and faith over fear. Knowing our fear feeds them helps to not fear it. Online bingo. Did you participate in the World Health Organization bingo last year? That was pretty fun. Hello, Rich. How are you on X? You doom scrolling yourself on X today? It's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely nuts. Last pincer, it's a game of tug of war. We aren't going to just up the rope after all this time. Hmm. You were there for bingo. I can't remember who won that game. Hello, Willie's Desert Hangout. Lovely to see you here. Nice to see you here indeed. So yeah, like we doom scroll our own mind. Does anybody here in the audience try to practice silence and not doom scrolling your own mind? Uh, it's like, oh, here's a scenario that hasn't happened yet, one of these hypotheticals, and it's got that really high engagement potential, and it's all in your mind behind your eyeballs, you know. And your mind doesn't really care if it's good for you or not, does it? Doesn't really care if it's good for you or not. Do you mean I talk too loud in my head? Yeah, exactly. I I think we all do. And I think that's, how they've been able to weaponize our phones against us so much. Camping videos. Mm. Yeah, that's right. I mean, we don't search for doom. It's everywhere. Anyways, exactly. We started off the show just scrolling through my X count, and it doesn't matter where you go. It's all around you. And we have a wonderful curator behind our eyes, our own mind, even when our phone is off. We do it to ourselves. Wonder if I can Just trying to see if I can. uh, doesn't it work like that? It's just crazy. Anyway, so yes, it'll find us soon enough. Yes, that's what I mean about our minds. Oh yes, absolutely. I It's very good idea. Somewhere where there's no internet. Yeah, so I don't know what because talk about doom scrolling your own mind. It always provides you with premium content, of fear or regrets or hypotheticals or, a whole list of things you have to do in the future that isn't actually here, all those sorts of things. The example about going through old arguments with people and all those sorts of things, and tell yourself you're reflecting, are we? Are we? I don't know. We're doom scrolling our own consciousness. Yes, very true. It's a bit ridiculous, isn't it? It's hmm, um, you know, your mind is very powerful to carry you off down a whole trail of thoughts, different topics, different categories, all that prime content, that it carefully curates for you. Um, but then all of that's really predictable as well. So yeah, guess having those tiny pauses. I mean, last pinch was just talking about nature, getting out in nature. Um, and I'm not talking about the internet. I'm talking about our mind. Our mind is very, very good at serving up all of that noise to us, even without the internet. You know, um, the mind, the oldest addictive technology. So I don't know, guys. What do you do to quieten your mind? We've had Jane likes a bit of the old online bingo. Oh yeah. I'm Willie's Desert Hangout. We wonder things, hence a rabbit hole. Last Pinster, I wouldn't overthink it, mate. If we are to believe what we are told, everything is a simulation, so why worry? No, I'm not worried. No, it's just something I've been thinking about and just wrote something about it. Still not sure what I'm going to do with that piece. So, as I said, I don't think if people do want to read my articles, you can, as I said, because I don't use Substack anymore. You can go along to buymeacoffee/courage is secure, and you can read all of my articles there. But anyway. Stare guy. Came to a conclusion the other day, even though I don't believe in reincarnation, I feel like I'll live again anyway, but through a completely different person. Mm-hmm. Jane, I only just found it again recently and it's free. Plus God wins, read Revelations, go on a holiday. I'd love to go on holiday. Yeah, I've read the Bible a number of times. Yes. So yeah, I don't know. Is Kebbies is still alive? Is our mind the oldest addictive technology? Is it? Our minds built our own algorithms long before the internet? Self-updating, self-curating, self-reinforcing feed. I don't know if it runs without our permission. Certainly gets away from us if we do we all need an Karen in our own minds? Do we? Maybe we all need an Karen in our mind. Julie, far-reaching, more far-reaching than I've ever contemplated before. Good old Julie. Yeah, I don't know. We kind of think this kind of doom scrolling's, some sort of new term, a new kind of pathology. Kind of side effect of Silicon Valley. But I think doom scrolling is much older. The oldest, perhaps, addictive technology there is our own mind. Infinite scrolling in your mind. It's the oldest quantum computer. Nice one, Jane. Willies, we've been teaching each other in the past, learning from past experience. Yes, that's one of the huge things, now that, especially with building communities, particularly through the COVID war, and a lot of us have become very close in real life as well, going through what we've all been through and passing on our experiences. And I think we need to continue building that because our elders are not valued as much anymore. They're not around us anymore. We don't live in the same family or community units we used to live in. Yeah. The little gremlin boy. Do I know a story about the little gremlin boy? No. Last Pinster. I can tell you this, Robin. I haven't made it this far by sitting around all day and doing what the friggin' on the TV is telling me to do. And that's because of thinking. Yep. newspapers. No, I'm not American. No, I'm an Australian. I think therefore I am. We remember the past because we are not incubator babies. Yeah, but do we? We're born with a mind wipe, you know? Hmm. Hello, Leo. How are you? It's very simple and ordinary. Nothing can prove story doesn't exist. It's inescapable, and try would still be story with a capital S. Adrian, you never stop working. I guess that's why people affectionately call you Crazy Adrian. Oh dear. Yeah, I don't know. So I will put it somewhere. What I've written about this. I don't know. Just you know, we all know what the internet just is too much, and then our own thoughts, you know, constantly, you know. Can we get a bit of peace and quiet? A lot of people cannot see through the bull. They are incubator babies, is the story. All right, everybody, that's it. I'm easing myself back into it. Feeling much better than I have been over the past couple of weeks with the oldie having a cold. But yeah, I'll let you guys know where I do post that writing, and let me know if you do manage to read any of my articles. It's kind of weird. I don't know. I'm not going back to using Substack because they're a bunch of assholes. Absolute bunch of assholes. All right, everybody, that is it for me today. Nice and easy episode. All of this stuff, the hello Annette, I mean, you know, politicians are useless, pathetic people. I'm sick and tired of hearing from them. You know? Anyway. Alrighty. So have a wonderful day. And I will catch you all very soon. See you everyone.
Strength of a woman.